let's dive right into it because, like I said, there's a lot. So we're gonna do our one sentence reviews of Sinners. So,
like I said, how many do I have? I have a few.
I
can't count. I can't count. I skipped number 6. I have 11.
11. Wow, I capped it at 7.
7,
Because I could have done more, but I was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do as many this time. But then, lo and behold, Roger's got 11, which is fine. We'll do them all. Normally, I'm the one with a lot of them, but
he's very creative.
Yeah,
you can create them on the spot.
Maybe we can see. And while we're discussing, maybe one would work out of context.
Yes.
But no, so if we're gonna dive into this, you should probably go first because you got more.
Okay.
So
I'll do my first 2. 1, Sinners is a horror film that will haunt you just as much as it will make you wonder which movie is Ryan Coogler's favorite out of Creed, Black Panther, and Fruitvale Station. Couldn't get that one out. But yeah, out of those 3 movies, and this one, obviously, which one of these is his favorite? Because he put a lot of work into all of them. And of the 4 movies, Creed, Black Panther, Fruitvale Station, and Sinners, which ones do you think I've seen?
Which ones do you think you've seen?
Yeah.
Well, obviously Black Panther. Like both
Obviously.
Black Panthers. I know you've seen those.
Obviously.
Yeah. Did you see Creed?
I did not.
I also did not see Creed because I'm not too into the Rocky movies. But
I haven't seen a single Rocky movie.
Shoot, I think I saw... Wow, I don't even think I've seen all of the first one. I've seen a lot of it, but not all of it. And I saw a lot of Rocky 4 of all things, but it's because I was waiting at a dentist office, and it was the
funniest. Is that the Russian one?
Yeah, that's the one where Creed gets killed.
I like the one where he's like, if he dies, he dies.
That's the one. That's Rocky 4,
like
which I saw that scene happen, and I was...
He dies.
I know they're not going for comedy with it, but I was just... Well, it's the 80s, so it doesn't age.
Wait, they weren't?
But I was laughing so hard because, like, he comes out to the big James Brown living in America, like, you know, America, F yeah, all of this. And then literally dies in the ring. And I just thought that was hilarious for some reason. And also the way it was presented, like the way it was edited was a very 80s way, so very cheesy. But
yeah, Murdoch's father was supposed to go.
Yeah, not a big Rocky fan, so I haven't seen the Creed movies.
But I'd see it. Creed.
I'd see it for Michael B. Jordan, though, I think.
I would see the movies, but of course, I'm a completionist, and so I would have to see
all 3.
The first ones first. And then...
Oh, you mean in the Rock?
Oh,
the
yeah.
movies.
No, I have to see it all because I want to know everything. I don't want there to be a moment where I'm like, what does that mean?
So I don't know if I could do that.
I'd have to. And then Fruitvale Station, I've also not seen. I've heard it's very
I also
good.
haven't either, but I feel like I need to.
Yeah, I've heard it's very good.
Yes, I've heard it's very, very good. That's the one that I know Michael B. Jordan had a lot of TV roles before he did that movie,
but I think
like
that's
that
what
was
put
the
him
one
on
that
the map.
Yes, and it definitely put him on Ryan Coogler's map. Which
Clearly.
I know you were gonna do your first 2, but this is a really good transition into my first one, so I'm gonna go for it. Ryan Coogler loves Michael B. Jordan so much, it was only a matter of time before he multiplied him.
I had a friend of mine tell me, was like, when I say I want a pair of Jordans, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. I'm not talking about the shoes.
I like that one.
I want a pair of Jordans. He's like, is this your king? No, I'm your king now. And then Michael B. Jordan looks at Michael B. Jordan, look at me. I'm the king now.
So like Black Panther, but it's Smoke versus Stack.
Correct. He's like, is this your king? No.
What is it? And they're looking back and forth. Is it?
And it's like, when I say burn that stuff, I mean that. Insert
burn it like the vampires.
All right, number 2. Sinners is a wild, smart, angry, and often very funny film.
It's true. Yes, it's a very that was a very movie critic one of you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Full review.
Which I've got one of those later, but not yet. Because like I said, we're gonna do yours first. You can do another one now.
Okay.
So that we can...
This is another good one. Sinners is a masterclass in filmmaking and dirty talk.
Yes, it is. Which we like to keep it clean on this podcast. There's not too much of that we can talk about, but
the movie itself does talk about it.
Yes, the movie talks about it and does it very well. Apparently, the scene.
Clearly. Evidently.
Yeah, the scene. No, the scene where Haley Steinfeld, Mary, reunites with Stack at the train station and talks about what they did together has gone semi-viral. Like, I've seen like people just sharing that, like they're bootlegging that scene and then sharing it to social media because of what she says, and I think that's pretty funny. And I was telling you about how it cuts to them driving again, and it just seems like he's talking to him about something dirty just for the sake of comedy, but then it actually comes back later. Like nothing is for nothing in this movie.
Right. No, I 100% agree with that. Like, they do everything in this movie for clearly something.
Yeah. And I think the more we get into the one sentence reviews, the more we'll be probably talking about the somethings. Do you want me to do my next one? Or
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Okay, so if you thought culture vultures were bad, wait till you get a load of cultural vampires.
Yeah, I mean, I have one that's kind of like that. But yeah, that's very true. Yeah. Like, very much in what they're doing in this particular film.
Do you want to do that one and then...
Let's see if I can find it.
Out of the was it 8 remaining now for you?
I think so, yeah. Here we go. Sinners is a movie that will make you appreciate the limits of art to set one free in a system that profits off exploitation of particularly black culture.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. Yeah, and like I think it was a lot of people have been comparing it to Get Out.
Yes.
In terms of like those kind of themes, and I think the comparisons are warranted. I also don't think you need to compare them too much because they approach them in such different ways.
Right. I would agree with that.
Yeah, and it's like and it was really interesting that they made Remick be an Irish vampire because
his name is Remick.
Yeah, but it goes into that you know how Irish Americans always love to say that they suffer depression too, which actually leads into my next one sentence review. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Then we'll take it from there. Irish Americans love to tell people that they were oppressed too, and this black-led movie takes that claim and says, I mean, yeah, but come on.
Also, like, yeah, but also who's counting, but like, it's a little different.
Just a little bit.
It's a tad different, my friend.
Yeah, but like making him an Irish vampire, I think was a very deliberate and necessary choice because of that. Because, yeah, Irish people did suffer when they came to America. Like, there was a bit of like, they're not white enough kind of thing. But they were still white, though.
Right.
They could assimilate. And
way better, easier than some other people.
Yeah. And like, and it was really interesting to see him, the scene where they walk up to the juke joint at first, like he's drawn there, and they try to get in by playing Pick Poor Robin Clean. And this isn't something that I picked up on. We Anna and I saw this movie twice, and I didn't pick up on this until the second because I had listened to the soundtrack over and over again, and they have
soundtrack's so good.
Yeah, it's really good. But like they have a really old recording of Pick Poor Robin Clean at the very end of it.
Yes,
you heard that, right?
I have.
Yeah, and it's interesting because that's a blues song. It was written and performed by black blues singers, and then here they come, these 3 white vampires, and they're doing their version of it, and it's funny. Sometimes it might be a little cringeworthy, but it's funny. It's presented as funny because you see all of the people in the juke joint just watching them like, and even like Stack's kind of like looks like, yeah, it's good for them, I guess.
It's not too shabby.
Yeah, they're polished, I guess. And then even Cornbread was like, I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's like it's not too bad. It's like I kind of.
But yeah, like that was played for laughs. But then when Mary goes to talk to them later, and they're playing "Will You Go, Lassie Go," which is an Irish song, it sounds so good. It's so much better because they're not trying to take the blues. Like this is the culture they understand, and they were trying to play a blues song, but they're never really going to understand it. Like the scene where Slim, who my favorite performance in the movie is Slim.
I mean, that's
and I really want, best supporting actor maybe.
No,
like
there's no way.
I know, but I want them to. But
there's no way they will.
But the scene where he's talking in the car, like, and they drive past the prisoners. That alone, I think, could be an Oscar.
That scene alone could be, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Because he's talking about when he starts talking about his friend who was lynched, and hopefully that doesn't get us demonetized here saying that, but it's what happened, and that happened a lot in the South
during that time.
Yeah, and like when he's talking about it, and again, this was also something I didn't pick up on until the second time I watched it. But when he's talking about it, and like they're playing, you hear the audio of what happened. Like you're in his mind right now. You're hearing the sound, and the sound is such an important part of this movie. You're hearing the sound of it, and he's getting more and more emotional as he's telling this story, and then when he finishes, he just
like flows and then into
turns
the song.
Turns his audible pain into a blues song right there, and like that's where it came from. It's like that is where the blues came from, like the suffering of this people turned into an art form to help them cope, to help them have an identity,
to help them express that pain.
Yeah, and so Remick, even though he's suffered, and the Irish people suffered, they did not suffer like that. They could never truly understand. It's a
different type of suffering.
Yeah. And
that scene was very powerful.
It was very powerful. Yeah, like I said, Oscar scene on that one. Also, I love when they're taking the garlic to test, and he starts like choking because he's so drunk and his senses are. But then he just does the.
Just karate chops.
I'm fine.
I'm fine. I'm not a vampire. He's like, talk to me, Slim. Also, the only reason he did not shoot him was because he liked Slim.
Yes.
If it had been Pearline, he would have shot her.
He might have.
He would have 100% shot her.
Yeah, I think he might have. But Slim could have just been, another comic relief character, but he's so deep and he has all this emotion to his character, and you're heartbroken when he doesn't make it.
Yes. I mean, also he did the whole, which I feel like it was unnecessary. He did the whole like save yourself, and I was like, you didn't need to do all of that. Like the way he did it was very like
maybe
Hannah Baker. It was very Hannah Baker. It was very unnecessary, I feel like.
Which we'll be that vague about it, because if we get further into that, they'll definitely demonetize this. But
yes, no, it was very Hannah Baker-ish. That's all I got.
But it was and he did say earlier how he would definitely, sacrifice himself to protect Sammy. And he
did say that. Yeah, you'd have to go. What is it like? You want to have to go through me.
Yeah,
have to go through old.
And he said same for all of you. He let them all go upstairs to try and stop them, but then Remick. Oh my gosh, the way Remick, Anna and I love it. The way he says Sammy,
here's Sammy.
Here's
Sammy.
What does it remind? Oh, it reminds us of this past Oscars when Adam Sandler was doing his thing.
Chalamet.
I guess something about being around Conan O'Brien, they used to write on SNL together. Something about that just put him back to his SNL days, and he's doing all of his weird voices.
You know why he did the voice for the Chalamet part, right?
Wait, there was an actual reason? That's not just Adam Sandler being Adam Sandler?
No, that's not even his bit. It's not even his idea.
Who was the Chalamet?
Nikki Glazer, who was host of the Golden Globes.
Golden Globes, okay.
She was the host of the Golden Globes. She's a comedian. She's very funny.
I know.
She did the roast of her.
She's a great roast comedian. Yeah,
she's fantastic. I think she's very, very funny. She did the host for the Golden Globes, and she was talking about like the different people who were nominated. Being one of them being Timothée Chalamet being nominated for whatever movie he was just nominated for.
A Complete Unknown.
Was it? Well, yes. No, it was that. Yeah, it was that film because that was during that like series of like Oscars.
Oscar season. But yes,
that was the movie. And she was like, Timothée Chalamet's name sounds like something Adam Sandler would have just said back on like SNL, like Chalamet, Timothée, Chalamet. And she's like, do I have Sandler? Isn't Adam here? And then Adam was like, a shallow me.
So
And, like,
he
yeah.
didn't even invent his own pronunciation for
Timothy's
Timothy
name.
Chalamet.
Yes.
Which,
Yes.
like, you know, Adam Sandler can turn it on when he wants to, but he usually doesn't want to. So, like, that doesn't surprise me.
a
But
Timothy.
let's not get
Chalamet.
too distracted by Adam Sandler's pronunciation of Chalamet.
Shallow me.
But yes, the way he said Chalamet.
It does sound kind of like that.
Yeah.
True.
A little
All right,
bit of
let's see
humor.
what
All
else I
right,
got.
go ahead. Yeah.
Let's see what else I got. Sinners is a vampire movie for the ages, but it's also a really good mixtape of so many different music types.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, you said that Will You Go, Lassie Go was your favorite?
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's been over my head all day.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
that one
since
gets
I've
in my
seen the
head.
movie. Since I've seen the movie, though the summer time has come and the tree. Oh, don't get me started.
It's a
Y'all
beautiful
don't get me
song.
started.
It
Y'all don't
really
get me
is.
started.
And
It's
like
so good.
with that one, that one's up there for me. But like, I think my favorite song in the movie was "Pale Pale Moon." That got me going.
That is a good one.
Ooh, that one. But "Pale Pale Moon," oh my god, the "I Lied to You" sequence.
I lied to you.
That's
I love the blues.
that's Oscar worthy right there. Like that.
I actually have a set point about that whole sequence. No issue. It was just an issue I had with myself.
With yourself.
When they were like, at the beginning of the movie, they tell you music, it's very powerful. It can bring people from the past and the future all together. That whole scene, I was like, cool. Clearly I'll see that. And then when they were like the electric guitar part and what's it called? The 808s, right? I was like, okay, where's the future?
No, they said from the spirits from the past and future.
Right, but I was like, where's
Together.
the future? Because in my head, those things are current.
Not for
But
them
I
though.
forgot correct. And
You
that
gotta
was
put
what-
your. You need to put yourself
forgot
in the.
this movie is made in 1932.
it
This
takes
movie's
place
set
in
in
1932,
1932. So I forgot about that. I was like, where's the future? Because I was like, how is Ryan going to think of future instruments? Like, I was like, that makes no sense. I was so confused.
But then you put yourself back in the movie, in the time of the movie. Luckily,
This
I
is
did
like 3
not
days
have that
after.
problem.
This is like 3 days after the movie. Like, I literally was so mad at the movie for like 2 days.
And then
I was
you
like, that
realize,
made no
oh
sense.
wait,
And then I was like, oh,
it does
no,
make
I'm
sense.
stupid. I was like, no, it does make sense. I'm stupid. It's fine. I was like, sorry,
Oh,
Ryan.
God.
I apologize.
I literally remember, like, I'll never forget, the first time watching that scene. It was just so well done and so powerful and profound. And then when it's ending and he hits that note and it just pans to the roof on
Reverberates.
fire,
just
and I'm
reverberates.
literally just mouth agape, not even aware of it. And then I was aware of it because, like, I can get a little self-conscious, but, like, I was aware of it and then didn't care, and then checked back into the movie like,
Literally.
oh my god,
Spit and fire. He literally spit hot fire.
literally spitting fire.
Literally spit hot fire.
That's how the blues spits fire.
What else I got? Sinners is a movie that will make you appreciate the magic of music, even if it does attract some evil and Irishmen.
Some evil and Irishman. No, not the Irishman.
Actually, one Irishman.
Just one.
Just one Irishman. And then he kidnapped, turned just other random white people in Mississippi.
Yes. Well,
They might have
yeah,
been Irish,
I'd say they're random.
but I
yeah.
just think they're random. I don't think that them being Irish is any part of the movie.
Yeah, but I think it was important though that they emphasize that it shows that they were Klan members. And
I agree.
full disclosure, for those who don't know, I majored in history in college. We've talked about that on the show before. But my concentration was Black history. I did a thesis paper on the portrayal of slavery in American cinema. So like,
Which is all too frequent.
yeah, it does happen a lot. And I'm at the point where, like, we had 12 Years a Slave. I think we're done now. That made up for all the movies that were bad with portraying slavery, and now we
Correct.
can move on.
I think we're done with that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that there are a
Which
lot
came
of
first, 12 Years a Slave or Django?
Django.
Yeah. So
Django was like the revenge one, and now here's the accurate portrayal one, the biopic
Right. Historical
history
aspect.
one, and now yes, we should be good.
Now we're done. Yeah,
We
no
should
more-
be good.
no
We
more
can do
movies.
different stories now.
Black
But
people can be other things.
yeah, because I was about to say there. I know, like you. I know your dad talked about it. A lot, and a lot of other black people are not. They're kind of tired of seeing movies about slavery or black or like all this black suffering on screen in general. Whereas this movie, it does have that, but it's so much more celebrating with it as well. And because that's why at first when they had the scene at the end with the Klan, at first I was like, do we have to have a scene with the Klan? Even though I would never turn down watching Michael B. Jordan light up Klan members. That it was awesome, but it's like, do we have to have a Klan scene? But then I realized yes, it's necessary because it was a good contrast between what Remick was trying to do and what the Klan tries to do, because
In that particular movie, right? Yeah.
yes, it's a good double side of the coin where, like, the Klan, they're obviously very outwardly racist. They wanted to end black lives because they were threatening their dominance.
Right.
Whereas Remick and what he represents, like, cultural appropriation, liberal racism rather than the conservative racism, whereas, like, he heard the music and he wanted to be a part of it, and he did that by literally, like, taking black bodies, but doing it under, unity and love rather than
Right.
actually just trying to kill them,
Right. Yes. But also under like a guise of like, there's nothing in this. This is nothing about you, right? Like I'm trying to set you free.
Yeah.
I see that you're struggling, and so I'm going to set you free.
And he's like,
By
I
letting me bite you.
understand, because I have struggled too, but we have already touched about not the same kind of
in
suffering.
a very different ways. In a very different
Yes,
way, my friend.
and it's also funny that we were Ann and I were watching a couple of different things this week. Cinema Therapy is one of them. It's a YouTube channel we like. And there was
haven't heard
another.
of
Oh, and an episode of The Handmaid's Tale where, like, they were talking about not comparing suffering because, like, yes, some people have it worse than others, but suffering is still suffering. This movie, I think, sees that just a little bit, but is also like, maybe don't compare. Like, white people stop comparing Irish suffering to black suffering. Yeah, it was bad, but don't compare them anymore.
It's just different.
It's just different.
It's different.
Yeah.
And because of that difference, you can't compare them. You can't compare them accurately because they're so different. That's,
Yeah.
I think, really where it is.
Yeah, yeah. And another thing before I do my next sentence, I also did one of the themes of the movie where it's a lot about like money and making money
And money being power.
during Jim Crow. Yeah, money and power, because this is something that I didn't like. What I learned while in college, that the Klan, of course, was outright racist, clearly, and that's why. But one of the reasons that they started, the mob mentality, the lynching of black people, was the rise of a black middle class, the rise of wealthy black people. Black people started making money, and then they really felt threatened. So that, and again, I picked up on this the second time as well when Slim was telling a story, and he emphasized that his friend they found money. He had all this money on him, and right when they saw it, that's when they made up the lie about him
their
assaulting
decision.
a woman, and then they killed him. And at the beginning of the movie, when the Smokestack twins buy, was it an old sawmill? That's what it used to be.
Well, that's what they said it was, and then
They
what
said
it
it
ended
was,
up,
that's right.
Spoiler alert, it was an old slaughterhouse.
We've been spoiling this whole thing. I hope you've seen it by now and just want some takes on it. But
Correct.
But yeah, it's like when they purchased it, they showed him all this money, and then the next day they all show up to kill them. And at the very end, I like the theme of money comes back because Smoke is very much money on his mind, very money oriented, whereas Stack is not as much. He's a little more fun going, which is a good way to tell them apart if you have trouble at first. But
true.
not just the color coordination, but
Which
I think they did a
like.
really good job. Yeah, I
like
liked their. And like they did such a good job telling the two apart, so it wasn't just two Michael B. Jordans. They did feel like twins, but different characters. But at the very end, when Klan leaders bleeding on the ground, Michael B. Jordan's bleeding out, and he says, I've got money, and then he just lights him up right there.
Because money is not in his head. It's like money. You having money is not the issue. That's not the problem. You living was the problem.
Yep. And at that point, he was like, at that point, money didn't matter anymore.
Right.
To smoke. Yeah, he had been changed. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to this next one. Unlike vampires, this movie is not trying to use music to trick you into liking it. You won't regret letting these vampires in.
Yes.
That's my most movie critic review of it. There was a semicolon in there. It wasn't 2 sentences. It was semicolon.
Semicolon, not a full completed sentence. Yeah, no, I like this one. And it's like, for me, the way Lassie, Will You Go Lassie, the way that sounded to me, I don't know why I just randomly have this Irish accent. The way that
it's hard to
sounded
say
to
it
me
in an American accent. I get it.
Was very, Will you go, Lassie, go. The way it sounded to me was very siren song.
Yeah. And it
like
it attracted Haley Steinfeld. It attracted
Correct.
Mary, which I know we're disproportionate with our reviews, but that's a great way to
go for it.
Go into this next one. The top Google searches following this movie are probably themes of the movie Sinners, history of blues music, and what is Haley Steinfeld?
You're right. Yeah, like, is she... And also, it was funny because it's like, what did she say in the movie? My grandfather was half black.
Half black, yeah.
Which means her mother is... Let's do some math, ladies and gentlemen.
A fourth, maybe?
Correct.
Because if
Which
she's
makes
that
her-
light-skinned.
Which makes her...
Like an eighth.
Correct.
Which... Haley Steinfeld, which I actually did look it up because I was like, there's no way that this movie would aloha us with this much care put into the movie.
Is she actually?
Detail. She is an eighth black. Yeah.
Well, there is a
if I
term
got
for
that number wrong, sorry, but she has black ancestry and I believe Filipino ancestry, I want to say. So she's not completely white. And I never, it's not something I thought about until this movie, but it's like, oh yeah, maybe when I looked at her, I didn't think she was completely white, but like I said, I didn't think that they would aloha this movie and just cast someone who had no black ancestry for that part.
Right.
So it was still accurate casting.
And it's weird because like there's a phrase during that time which is called octoroon, which is a person who was eighth black would still have been considered either a slave or of a lower class. And so it's interesting that they cast somebody who, based on their then standards, the then standards would have actually been in that role. And so that was, I think that was really good casting. And also, okay, Hawkeye, like, all right.
What's the name of it's Kate Bishop, but what's her hero name?
Hawkeye.
Oh, just Hawkeye? Yeah.
Yep,
New Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Well,
Yeah, Hawkeye.
Yeah, Clint Barton's not going to be doing. I think
Correct.
he's got.
Did you
a family
hear why?
now.
Did you hear why he's not going to do Hawkeye number?
Oh no, I
season
saw
2?
that they weren't going to pay it. They were paying him half or something,
was
and
like-
then he's like, no way.
Was it
But
what
he
you
still
doing?
wants to do it.
He's like, I do it. You just got to actually pay me.
I'd watch it. I liked Hawkeye. It was a great
Apparently.
show.
Now we'll give him half. He was ran over, so clearly he's half the Hawk.
They should pay him just for surviving that.
Now he's just I.
And he was a real hero because he was protecting, I think, his son when the accident
Yeah.
happened.
Some
Yeah.
youth.
Yeah, some youth.
Some
But no, Haley Steinfeld did great in this movie.
I really appreciated her performance.
And and I really liked that her character, like, she has that conversation where she says that she is, she has black ancestry. She's an eighth black, but she sees herself
As one of them.
as one of them, yeah. And she feels like she is more at home in that community. And then I think, was Stack telling her was it Stack like arranged for her to marry a white man? Is that what happened? Yeah.
I think so.
Or like helped that happen, but she was like, I don't want to. But he was like, if you were seen with me, they would kill you.
They'd probably
they'd
kill
kill
us
both of us. Yeah. Because either they would think that I'm with a white woman, so they would be
Mad about that.
Yeah, they'd kill him for that, or they would assume that you're
Something
actually
else.
not white. That you do have. They would try to see some ancestry in her, and then not care about her either. But the character is so interesting because she's the one who tries to make contact with Remick and the two vampires.
Correct.
And
Will you go, Lassie, go?
and where you go, Lassie, go. And like I said, that was a siren song. Her white side took over and let her out there, I guess. But that was really interesting because I think that her character, this is how I read it at least, that her character thought that she does kind of spell it out a bit, that she thought that she could be the bridge between the two because
the two cultures, because she is part white, part black.
Because she's both of them, yeah. And I think it plays into the the well-meaning but ultimately still racist theme. Yeah, well-intentions, because like she had well-intentions and then she just ended up becoming part of the problem.
Correct.
And like that's
highway,
usually how it goes.
The highway to hell is paved
with good
intentions.
Yeah.
So the highway to vampirism is paved with good intentions.
Yeah, but she couldn't truly be the bridge because she never, like, she's probably experienced some form of like the oppression, the suffering, because she has that ancestry, but never fully because she was still able to pass.
Right.
Like successfully pass.
Right.
Like throughout the movie.
And I would have never guessed. Until you told me, I would have never guessed. Because I thought they just like whitewashed the character. But
no. I even talked with
it makes sense. Coogler wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Like I was saying, he wouldn't do that. And I was talking with someone at work who hadn't seen Sinners, but said she really wanted to, and said that she was actually nervous when she heard that they did have a character who was passing, but then saw that it was Haley Steinfeld, and she already knew that she had black ancestry, and was like, okay, never mind, it's okay. Because she was afraid it was going to be either someone who couldn't pass or someone who was actually completely white.
She looks so different as Hawkeye, like Kate Bishop, to this character.
That's called range.
That is called range and hair changes. And
hair changes.
And she didn't have a bow and arrow, so props. Mm-hmm. All right, what else do I got?
You have more than me, so.
Let's see. I heard someone say this. Sinners is a movie that will make you question whether Ryan Coogler is the next Jordan Peele in the horror genre. I think it's a little too early.
I think so too. I'm not sure that because Jordan Peele seems to have made himself like a niche in horror. Like he's comfortably there. Everyone's waiting for his next horror movie. It's, prestigious. Ryan Coogler strikes me as someone who could do any genre, but he just wanted to do a horror movie, which is so cool to me that he already did Marvel. Because a lot of times directors will do horror movies to jump into other genres unless they're so good at horror that they have that core following and they end up getting recognized anyway. Right. But a lot of people, they start with horror fare to branch into other genres. Like Scott Derrickson, who directed Sinister, then did he was supposed to do Multiverse of Madness, but he didn't. Sam Raimi did it instead. But no, Sam Raimi. He started with Evil Dead and then did Spider-Man and then did Multiverse of Madness. So like a lot of directors would do it that way, but he wanted to do this horror movie, even though he had already done literal billion-dollar blockbusters.
And multi-billion-dollar, I mean.
Yeah, but he wanted to do this. Right? And it was the first original story that he's done, because Fruitvale Station was based on an actual event, and, Black Panther's movies are based on... Was that?
I thought he wrote Fruitvale.
I don't believe he actually wrote it. I think he just... No. I think he might have still written it. No, I think he did write it, but it wasn't original. He did write it, but it's based on something that happened.
But he maybe wrote the screenplay, maybe.
Yeah, I believe he did, but this was the first completely original. Like, wasn't based on actual events.
Anything or something.
Inspired by history, obviously, because they took great attention to detail to get a lot of stuff right and get a lot of themes of the time correct. But still entirely original, and a horror movie, which a horror movie fan like myself deeply appreciates.
As a non-fan of horror, I also appreciated it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you did.
But it's because I like vampires. I like vampires. I think vampires are cool.
Vampires are cool. Usually. And I'll move on to one of mine, I guess. God may be dead, but original blockbusters are not. Which is a joke. That's a joke.
Because in the movie...
Because and it was based on the movie, because when Sammy starts reciting the Lord's Prayer, because he thinks it's going to help him, and then Remick starts doing it back, and all the other vampires do it back. That was powerful.
Yeah, he was like, I remember when the people came to my land and forced this religion on me.
Yeah,
and I was like, dang.
Which also happened to the captured African people that they brought over here. Yeah,
correct. So sad.
Oh, and again in Slim's monologue in the car, didn't he say something about that? Or it's like
Oh, religion. Yeah. It's not our.
like you're gonna
it's
make
not
me
our religion.
so you're gonna make me worship your God or something, but
Yeah, it's not our
I'm gonna
religion or
make
something like that.
but I'm gonna make my music or it's our music or something like that.
I forget something
Yeah.
what it is, but yeah, it's like the religion wasn't ours; it was forced upon us, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That car scene was very powerful,
Just
and it would have
so
gone very
one of the
differently
best.
if it was the other brother.
It would have, yeah, because Stack is a lot more of a people person. Because Smoke is out there shooting people in the butt
Who wants the smoke? Wait, no.
that he knows.
Yeah,
Yeah, Smoke did it.
smoke. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that was funny. I was doing a lot better before he shot me in the ass. This movie is funny. It has really good humor in it. Anyway, but yeah, so I think that was a good for the movie God is dead moment. So if you don't believe that God is dead, that was just a joke. So don't need to get up in arms about that. Okay, you have more than I do. So how many do you have left?
Let me see how many more I have.
Because I think I've only got one left, and I'd like to finish with it so we can roll through yours.
Yeah. So, all right, then I'll just keep going. Sinners might already be the best movie of 2025.
Yes.
And I saw that. I said that before I saw Thunderbolts, which I really enjoyed. So
I will say this about Thunderbolts. It was good. I really enjoyed Thunderbolts. It did feel different from other recent MCU movies. But my joke is like, Thunderbolts was great. It made me stop thinking about Sinners for a few minutes. So anyway, Sinners.
yes. Anyways, back to Sinners.
Because
back to Sinners.
literally couldn't stop thinking about the movie for over a week, like after I saw it, and then saw it the second time, and then saw Thunderbolts, poured over that movie in my mind, and then it's back to Sinners. Like it was that good to me.
I keep
But again,
telling everybody about it.
yeah, I'm trying to tell as many people because when I hear people talking about it at work, I pop in like, "So Sinners, yeah? Did you see it?
Did you like it? You loved it, right? Yeah.
Well, you haven't seen it? Then I'm not going to tell you anything.
Yeah. No,
But
it's a
except
great movie.
see this movie
Except
in
go
theaters,
see
please.
it. Yeah, go see it in theaters.
Please go see it. I'm trying to get this up as soon as possible, but it should still be in theaters by this point. Please go see it in theaters.
Please.
I want this movie to make all the money
It deserves it.
it deserves.
Well more
all the
than
money.
plenty of the other movies that have actually made all of the money.
Like the Minecraft movie.
Jesus, don't get me started. I love Jason
Wait.
Momoa, but geez,
Let's not get started on the Minecraft.
let's not get started.
All right, go ahead for the next
All right,
one.
what else I got? Sinners. Sinners, : music is magic.
Yes, it is, and very magic in that movie.
Music is indeed magic.
I saw Anna likes to listen, and myself, but Anna more so likes to listen to the podcast The Film Bros, which is a lesser known podcast of these two women who make fun of, I guess, us, but it's like, film bros who are very like snobby about movies.
Yes.
And they were talking about Sinners, and one of them talked about and I just saw just a clip of it because I didn't want to listen to too many takes on it because
Right.
I didn't want to repeat other takes. I wanted to kind of come in with mine.
Your own.
But in theirs, they were talking about how they would see movies where it's like, this is the best music, or like, this is a divine voice. And they would have such a hard time believing it when they finally hear the voice. But they did not have trouble believing that in this movie. And I'm like, yes, I
And
agree
there's a
with
reason
that.
for that, I think. This movie had a lot. I mean, the music in this movie is just phenomenal.
Yes.
Let's see what we got here. Because of Sinners' superb and brilliant storytelling and its dedication to authenticity and the experience of Black people, and a little bit of the experience of Irish, the Irish. This movie is one of the best films of the year already, and it's just an outstanding time at the movies.
Yes, it is, because the themes don't feel browbeating or like, he leaves enough for you to pick up on it. Like when they're talking about, a juke joint by us, for us, and just talking about how blues music is theirs. And then here comes Remick, who the line that I remember is when like he's about, he is about to kill Sammy, or is about to turn Sammy, and he says, "I want your music, I want your stories," and it's like, there, that's it. Them. Cultural appropriation, the theme, right there.
He wants it. He's like, I want them, and you have them, and this is the only way I can get them. So
yeah, and I also feel a little bit for Remick because it seems like he did lose a community, and it seems he is kind of looking for one. Like,
I mean, he wants to see his friends. He wants to see his friends.
Yes. Yeah, like he came with the guys that he could use Sammy's music to connect with them again, but at the same time, he also said, "I want your stories, I want your music." So like, it wasn't just, especially thematically, it wasn't just for that.
But I think I think the reasoning was he wanted the ability to make that music. Mm-hmm. But I think a part of the reason he can't make that music is because Remick, buddy, you're dead. It's like, buddy, you can't put your soul in it.
Yeah.
You don't have one. You don't have one, but like,
can't make soul music without a soul.
Exactly. He's like, but I'm still here. And it's like, buddy, no, your soul's gone. Actually, I don't know what happened to your soul. Actually, it's probably gone and it can't rejoin your body because you're still here as a vampire.
Yeah, and was he just like, I wonder if he was a demon to begin, like, because he ends up being, you know, the link between all these vampires. Like, they know.
I think it's
he has all their thoughts. So like, who turned him, or was he just like an original?
No. So someone definitely turned him. Like, there's like, I don't think they were going with original vampire vibes. Like, I'm very much into vampires.
Think I'm getting it.
Someone turned him. He is either gone from that person, or that person is no longer with us, and he is now siring his own clan of vampires. And in this version of vampirism, whoever is your sire, there's usually a sire bond in vampirism, but in his version of the sire bond, he gets to just get your memories and be able to, just like, oh, cool, I want to learn this. I can make everybody do an Irish jig.
So, and it's gonna be funny, but also really cool.
And I'm gonna hit a high kick.
Man, he can Irish dance.
He can dance.
I did Irish dance.
That he did
in college.
And he's not Irish.
I am Irish, very slightly, yes, but not that. I'm not like on St. Patrick's Day. I emphasize to everybody that I'm Irish, that I pee Guinness, and my blood is green, and that means I was oppressed too. Like, I'm not that Irish. I'm just like, okay, I am. My middle name is Patrick. My parents named me that because my mom was Davis. So like,
yeah. Very. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I'm much more German than I am Irish. Yeah.
He's way more German.
I am way more German. Anyway, is that all yours? That's all you got? All right. So the last one sentence review. A movie you can't wait to defend when the Academy snubs it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Although I did see, it was a Variety article, so I only saw one article. I hope to see more, where they called it the first Oscar movie of 2025. I hope they're right. And I hope that they're right for more than just song. Songs will be nominated for sure. I want a lot more. I think Coogler will
be nominated. Yeah.
We haven't seen all that 2025 has to offer already, obviously, but like, Coogler deserves a directing Oscar nomination just for the I Lied to You sequence alone. I think editing also should get an Oscar nomination. I really want to point out again, I don't know why I didn't pick up with this on the first time, but the sequence where it's a one-take sequence, a one-shotter, where they go from one shop to the other because the husband and wife work at different shops, and when they go across the street, and I start seeing all these white people, and I'm like, oh wait, that street is literally segregated. Like, one side of the street is white, one side
I didn't connect that.
I didn't at first, and then I connected it the second time, and I'm like, oh, that's wow, good. Really well done. And again, very subtle, not beating you over the head with it. And they did it in a one take, which makes it even better. So
I didn't even notice that. That's a good one.
Directing, editing. Again, I really want Best Supporting Actor for Slim.
I hope he does. I hope he gets nominated. He's very good.
God,
he's like, I'm not drunk right now. Also, lore-wise, there's a lot of lore issues in this particular movie because she shouldn't have been able to invite them in.
Oh, she shouldn't have? Is it only like the person who's the master? Yeah.
Only the owner. And Mary was already invited in. She can come back in. She can come and go as she pleases.
Well, not in this case.
Correct.
It
But
has. In this case, we have to do it this way so that it works better.
correct. So it works. But yes, in vampire lore, once the invitation has been given, it cannot be revoked unless the owner has changed. And so when Mary came and went, she's good to go. And only the true owner can invite people in.
And I thought it was interesting that Mary and Vampire Stack left. Well, Vampire Stack got hit with pickled garlic, and so he was suffering. He had to get out of there. He was weak. But Mary just left, and that was interesting to me. But I think it was probably intimidation tactics by Remick, just playing with them. Because ultimately, he does get all of them until, but then Smoke
we gonna
kills
kill
him.
every last one of you. We gonna kill
man.
every last
And
one. Come on, boy, it's me. Open the door.
what makes this movie so much more emotional for me is that, again, this is why editing I think deserves an Oscar, because they were showing I think it was when he enters, it's like the end of the movie, he enters the church, they're going back and forth between Michael B. Jordan fighting the Klan and then Sammy talking to his dad, and he's thinking about the day before. And you see all the people get there and unload to go into the juke joint, and it just emphasized it. Like watching the second time when all the vampires burn, it almost made me cry, because I realized all of these innocent people. Like,
right,
I know
all
that
lost their lives,
and it's they lost their lives coming to be
have the night of their life.
Yes, to have the night of their life as a community, to celebrate themselves, and they're working so hard, and life is terrible under Jim Crow, but they're trying their best to have some sort of light, and hence this little light of mine that they play a few times in the movie. And if you stay for the end credits, you get to hear Miles, is it Caden? Is that how you pronounce it? Miles Caden?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to hear him sing This Little Light of Mine by himself. Very good rendition. But yeah, it was so heartbreaking. And it makes you feel. It really makes you. It's not, because, a lot of people complain about horror movies just being, there's not a lot of emotion to them.
Correct.
It's all like scares, and which a lot of older ones are. A lot more
That's
recent
how I
ones
feel.
try to have an emotional core to them. This had such an emotional core to it.
Just like the Thunderbolts out in theaters right now.
Yes, the Thunderbolts had a really good emotional core to it. Yeah, I that got me too. I was not expecting. I don't usually cry in Marvel movies, but there are some.
Whole tear. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, there's some Marvel movies that have done that, like No Way Home. Obviously, did that.
Wakanda Forever.
Oh God, Wakanda Forever. Just the opening where it was all Chadwick in the Marvel logo. I was all ready.
Lift
Nah,
me up.
we don't have to do that. I'm not crying on this podcast.
You cannot get me.
Not right now.
Don't get me started on. Stop.
I think crying is important. It's a very important thing to do. But
you're the queen now.
we don't need to do it now.
You're the queen now.